This one's on CIM Integrated Communications Assignment December 2019, Task 1C. It's about internal communication campaigns to create better employee engagement and how do you budget for that. Now, you got to study the theoretical discussion about the subject of internal communication, internal marketing, and internal campaigns coming out of that. So you got to read around that, the textbooks and online. Of course, also in your CIM textbook, you have all types of budgeting techniques. That's not enough. You got to go into your other recommended reading like Pelsmaker and read more about the subject of budgeting. Okay. And also you need to read about the subject of engaging employees. How do you engage employees? There are satisfied employees, there are engaged employees. Read about that also. Now, the command word for this task is recommend. This is the most serious command word because finally you're taking a decision what to do. So a recommendation requires you to justify what you ask a company to do. You can't just tell someone to do something. You got to justify, give a rationale, support with some data. That's recommendation. Okay, to start this task, you got to talk about the importance of internal marketing and why companies need to bring out internal campaigns if they want to excite their employees and engage them. Typical boring meetings or sending an email to get employees to do something or change the way they think don't work. Just like you do exciting external campaigns, you got to do exciting internal campaigns. So, for an example, we saw NDB Bank celebrating 40 years. They did a lot of campaigns externally. You saw the billboards in front of every branch, symbols saying 40 years. But they also did a lot of work internally to create forums, employee events, competitions. The campaigns internally was pretty organized. And you saw those visuals coming on even employees' personal social media. So you have to look at the theory side of it, some research to support what percentage of employee engagement increases if you do effective campaigns. Importantly, you should, in this task, look at some of the past campaigns your company has done. If not, you could showcase a potential campaign they could do. So these campaigns could be because you are doing a rebranding, like the change at Keels from the red color logo to the green color logo, or it could be like an NDB example. What type of internal campaign are you thinking about? Is potential. Now, after you said that, you could talk about the need for budgets internally. Are companies spending money internally to communicate with staff? Find some research, share that. The truth is, most companies spend money outside campaigns but rarely spend inside campaigns. So, your online reading, some of the books that you find this information is going to help to write your assignment. And thirdly, you will talk about the types of budgeting methods available. There is top down, there's bottom up predominantly, and there are all you can afford, objective and task. You'll briefly show your knowledge about budgeting and obviously give the right references. And out of those options, you pick two options and show why those two options are potential for an internal campaign or two that you have in mind. So you can show that method, how it supports a particular internal campaign, or you can take two options and explain. I'm not even thinking of looking at a table to compare the two options. There are positives and challenges on each method of budgeting. So example, if you have a all you can afford method and if you have objective and task method, what are the positives and challenges in each one of those when you are trying to do an internal campaign? So that's your task. And the recommendation has to be justified. So let's say if you are saying you are going to do a internal employee of the month campaign for employees who's going to promote the highest amount of Nexus cards at Keel Super. Now that campaign, why do you say a objective and task budgeting method is the most suitable? It's not only about recommending that budgeting method, but justifying why that method is the most suitable. Justifying that with some research or some case study, somebody else used a similar method effectively. So you got to justify. That's what make it a strong recommendation. So if you do